All right, so are you looking forward to settling down in the UK or applying for your indefinite leave to remain? There are certain factors that could mar you the chances of your application getting approved by the Home Office. And this is something that I am here to discuss. Some precautions you should take, while tendering your application for an indefinite leave to remain in the UK. Meanwhile, my name is Chinyere Ojike. You are most welcome to my channel. Yes, disclaimer please, I am not an immigration officer or an immigration consultant. Any information I'll be sharing in this very content today is based on my personal research. Yes, please endeavor to make your own findings or consult your personal immigration consultant for more details on this. Now, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep coming back for more uploads by turning on the notification bell so that anytime I put on a video, you should be able to be notified. Okay, let's get started. Alright, so if you are relocating to the UK or you are already in the UK and you have the intention of settling down in the UK, having your indefinite leave to remain, this very content is for you. Now, there are three options open to everyone wishing to apply for an indefinite leave to remain in the UK. One, it depends on the kind of visa you came into the UK with. For instance, if you come into the UK on a skilled worker visa, which is the 5 years visa, you should be able to apply for your indefinite leave to remain at the end of 5 years. And the second one is the 10 years route, which is the family visa. If you have a child in the UK, you have a parent in the UK, you should be able to apply after 10 years, which is the family visa for you to remain in the UK. And the third one is the global talent visa. If you move to the UK via the exceptional talent visa, you should be able to apply for your indefinite leave to remain at the end of 3 years. Now, what does that mean to have an indefinite leave to remain in the UK? Having an indefinite leave to remain in the UK means that you can live, work, and remain in the UK and then apply for your citizenship in the UK. And it also means that you are entirely free from immigration restrictions. Okay, but then you can be denied. The Home Office can actually deny you, this indefinite leave to remain on certain grounds, which is the main topic of this very content today. So what are the reasons by which the Home Office can deny you access to this indefinite leave to remain, especially when you tender your application? How and why will your application be refused? All right, so the general ground by which your indefinite leave to remain application might be refused by the Home Office is in a situation whereby you have not completed the maximum number of years you are expected to have stayed in the UK before tendering your application. For instance, on a global talent visa, you are expected to have lived in the UK continuously for 3 years. And for the family visa, you are expected to have lived in the UK continuously for 10 long years. And for a skilled worker visa, you are expected to have lived in the UK continuously for 3 years. However, this doesn't mean that you cannot leave the UK, you cannot travel to your hometown, go on holiday to elsewhere. But on a skilled worker visa, you are not expected to have spent 180 days, that is around 6 months, within 12 calendar months outside of the UK. All right, for your indefinite leave to be granted or to be approved, you have to take life in the UK test. You have to pay for this test. I think it costs about £1,000. This is basically for them to know that you understand the British culture very well. You understand the law, the custom, the tradition, everything about the British system, because you are having a test for citizenship. It is also called the British citizenship test. Okay, so you have to take all this into consideration. And the second requirement is that you also have to pass an English test, an approved English test, especially if you are from a non-English speaking country. You must show a proof that you understand and can write English, and you must have at least a B1 grade on this English test, and you must take this test if you are between the ages of 18 to 65. Okay, and basically you are expected to do the speaking English and listening just to understand if you have a great knowledge of English language. And if perchance you fail this very test, that means your ILR might be refused. Well, the thing is this, you don't actually have to do this test if you have previously passed your life in the UK test. Okay, especially if you are above 65 years, you can keep hold of the previous one you have passed. And if you are under 18, just like my son, he won't be expected to be doing this very test, hence he's under 18. But myself, I would definitely be doing that. But my advice is this, if you are in the UK and possibly you have stayed for 3 years or 4 years, you might start at the end of your 4 years and start doing this test. Because people can actually repeat this test if you fail, just like the driver's test. I mean, just like the driving test, you can repeat this test as many times as you can. But the good news is this, once you have done this test and pass it, you can use it. It does not expire. Just like the driving theory test expires after 2 years, but this does not expire. So it is important you start doing it maybe on your 4th year, depending as to the time you are getting your indefinite leave to remain. You start writing it on time so that you can use it as at when due. All right, so the next point why your application for an indefinite leave to remain might be refused is that you are expected to provide a good character judgment. And what is this? This is like a CRB check or DBS check. Any convictions, any criminal records you might have had on your records in this very country, you must show a proof for all this. You must declare this. This is why you should always keep it clean. Keep a clean slate in this country because everything is being checked when you apply for your ILR. Moreover, if you have been subjected to EU or UN travel ban, it will definitely affect your application. For instance, you have been banned from entering any of the EU countries, or traveling to any of the countries for one reason or the other, it will definitely put a question mark to your application for indefinite leave to remain. Another point is this, if you are considered a persistent offender who shows no regards to the law or for the law, it will definitely affect your application for the ILR. So another thing that would affect your ILR application is when you have been accepting public fund, whereas in your visa it is said no recourse to public fund and you've been enjoying public funds. This would definitely put a showdown to your application. Okay, and if you have been avoiding to pay tax in the UK, this is another factor. It is the most, in fact, should I say it is a major factor, because the UK, they like tax a lot, and definitely everything is being taxed, so there is no way you can dodge this, and it is always reflecting. Yes, so endeavor to pay your tax, endeavor to pay your bills, endeavor to pay up whatever that is payable that you are consuming in this very country. X, on the day of the recording, I'll be on the last day, the judgment day, the day you will tender an application for your ILR. All these things are going to show up. Another important thing about tax in the UK is this. If you have a self-employed business, a small business you are doing, you get direct payment from it. You need to apply for a self-assessment on gov.uk. It is very important. Even though you don't make up to £100 in a month, it is necessary you file for this. Even myself as a YouTuber, it is important because at the end of the day, this thing is going to come up. And basically, they said, they don't tax you every month. It is annually. Hence, you earn like £1,000 in a whole year. It is important you do this. Even if you are making £50 from your business per month, please endeavor to file for a assessment on HMR. Okay, hence that money goes through your bank account. Yeah, because at the end of the day, when applying for this, you have to present your account details and all the protocols. So stay away from these people's wahala. However, to be honest with you, at the end of the year, you might end up not paying anything. Yes, this is how it works. When I was doing my 20 hours per week, 21 hours in a week, they were actually taxing me. But guess what? At the end of that tax year, they refunded me 700 and something thousand. Oh, they refunded me 700 and something pounds, not thousand, please. They said I was being tasked when I wasn't supposed to be tasked because I wasn't making the required amount of money I should be making in a month that I was expected to be tasking. So I got refunded. So endeavor to file for this self-assessment thing here, even if it is 20 pounds you make. At the end of the day, they might not even collect the tax. This is just the good news, but make it official. You also have to submit what is called your financial situation. Yeah, this entails you submitting your bank statements, your bank details, for them to go through. This is why if you have any income in your account that you cannot, any transaction in your account that you cannot explain how the money entered your account, it is really something questionable. So make sure that you know the flow of money, the transactions that goes on in your accounts. And if you are keeping money for anybody, make sure you can explain all this. Once you are called upon to explain all this, how the money came into your account. Another point is this: if you have unpaid taxes, be rest assured that your application for indefinite leave to remain will be automatically refused. Yes, you have to be careful. Make sure that you pay up your taxes. And even if you manage to pay up your taxes, your application might still be refused. And this is the reason for which you can seek legal advice to get it sorted out. But then I will advise it is important, if you have any issues with the HMC, it is very much important you sort out this tax issue before you can proceed to applying for your ILR. So general advice should also be that if you are living in the UK with your husband, with your wife, whomever the dependents, it doesn't really matter. I would also advise that you guys do things in common, especially when it comes to paying tasks, when it comes to paying bills. Just like the rent in this very house, my husband pays the rent, but my name is included in the rent. And I've always been the one receiving emails about whatever, that is going on. As in, whenever we pay this rent, I've always been the one to receive an email and pass the information to my husband. And this applies to some of the bills, like council tax, we pay. Our both names are in our council tax, water bill, electricity. So do things in common, because this is basically the only way the UK government would understand that you have been contributing to the economy of the UK, especially when you tender your application for you to get your indefinite leave to remain. So it is very much important. It doesn't really matter whose pocket this money is coming from. What matters is that you guys are jointly paying taxes or paying bills together in the UK. Thank you very much for watching this content. I hope this helps you a lot. Okay, so please like this video. It is very much important to me. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and keep coming for more. You can share this video if you have anyone that might benefit from it. All right, see you again in my next upload. Bye for now.